So we're delighted to be here at Catholic Television with you. And the man who just read the gospel is Father Leo Poselli. He's the chaplain at the Peyton Center in Easton. Along with him, concelebrating is Father Pinto Paul, who is the International Director of Holy Cross Family Ministries, and also Father Jomon Caladundil. What a wonderful last name. He is the National Director of Family Rosary. I'm Father Willy Raymond, the President of Holy Cross Family Ministries. And we have a team here, much of our staff from the Peyton Center. We continue the work of Father Patrick Peyton, Venerable Patrick Peyton, which is to help families pray in a word, or in 3 words. Our mission is really important because the family is the masterpiece, as Pope Francis says, God's masterpiece. Today, we hear the angel Gabriel, who's had a busy week this week. Yesterday, he visited with Zechariah, the priest, to announce that his wife Elizabeth was to conceive and bear a son. Zechariah, who was elderly and his wife was elderly and barren, had given up praying for a son. When the angel promised him a son, he rejected this as something that was absurd, that he did not expect from God, and something which did not make sense for him to pray for anymore. But we know that nothing is impossible for God. So that's his response. Mary today also receives a visit from the angel Gabriel, and her response is quite different. When Gabriel, brilliant with heavenly beauty, stands before Mary, she humbly lowers her eyes, and he says, "Hail Mary, most blessed, more blessed than all maidens, past, present, and future. You have been chosen by the great God to be called the mother of him whose Father is God himself." She listened, posed questions, got answers. The commands of God were fulfilled. The girl, Mary, immediately believed, and her ready faith let her say, "Fiat," the noble word that women and men from the days of Adam and Eve, Abraham, Moses, David, all the prophets, all the angels and archangels, all of creation were waiting on tiptoe with bated breath to hear her response to the plan of God. They longed to hear her speak. And when she spoke and said, "Fiat," yes, there was universal rejoicing in every time and place. God accepted Mary's yes, and her vocation to be the mother of God was now underway. This is the turning point in all of human history. God, who created us without our permission, could not save us without our active cooperation. And Mary, this humble maiden of Nazareth, is the one who set it all in motion. In August of 1964, a young man was being driven to Montreal to enter the seminary. Near the outlying suburbs of the city, he found himself saying to his brother, who was also the driver, "Stop this car, turn around. I'm not going through with this." Along the way, like Zechariah, or even, I hope, a little bit like the humble maid of Nazareth, he experienced a gift in the form of a new yearning. He had been interviewed by the Diocese of Portland and was accepted to enter the seminary and was making his way to begin classes at the Grand Seminary in Montreal. And then, in a moment of insight, he realized it was a mistake. He returned home to a surprised family and to a perplexed parish priest. He asked the pastor if there were Holy Cross priests and brothers in the United States. He had been studying at a Holy Cross University in New Brunswick, Canada. Suddenly, on that voyage to Montreal, he realized that the Holy Cross community its joyful members and worldwide mission were calling out to him. Within a week, he was at Stonehill College, just 25 miles south of Boston, in a seminary and on the way to saying yes to a new vocation. And he has never looked back. I know this story. I know the need to be attentive in prayer, especially during Advent, like Mary, and to answer the call with ready faith. If you and your family find some time to steal away and pray, either alone or with your family during these Advent days leading up to Christmas, you will hear the most incredible message, like Zechariah, like Mary, like this young man on the way to Montreal. And please God, you will say yes to his invitation to follow his plan for you and your family.